FM. And I love doing things in the neighborhood, and I love talking to people about their nonprofits. So, of course, I'm Shelley, and good morning. And you are?
I'm Bad Bob with Bikers Against Child Abuse.
Now, I love that you're Bad Bob. Why did we have Bad Bob? Do we want to tell that backstory or not live?
Well, it's a long story.
Can you do a little tidbit of why you're that?
I like to say I was a Golden Gloves boxer back when I was 18, 19 years old, and that's what they called me, was Bad Bob.
You've done a lot of interesting things. We were talking before going on air, and I was like, our lives have probably passed over the years and we didn't even know it.
But now in my advanced age, I think I ought to change my name to Not So Bad Bob.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I heard a motorcycle out there and he walks in with all this leather and stuff on. So what do you do now in your older years and your ramen noodle years? What are you doing?
What do I do? Well, I'd like to talk about Bikers Against Child Abuse.
Yep.
I'm the state public relations officer for BACA. And I don't know if you've heard of us before, but we're a worldwide organization, a 501c3. We operate in 20 countries around the world. We're in 45 states. We're in 7 provinces in Canada. Here in Florida, we've got 10 chapters, and we cover all the way from Pensacola down to the Keys.
And why did you get involved with this? Did you have a backstory that something happened in your childhood, or did you just have a burning in your heart to get involved with this? Because this is very interesting. How would we go first of all, how would we go find out more information about you? Do you have a website, Facebook? What do you have?
Well, we're on Facebook, and we got a website. Our website is bacaworld.org. That's BACA, Bikers Against Child Abuse, bacaworld.org. And you can find us on Facebook and Instagram under Bikers Against Child Abuse International.
And watch the video, because it was a good video.
Oh, it's a great video on there.
Because I didn't know how I met you guys, is I'm a Volusia County Women That Care. I am part of that organization.
Oh, great organization.
One of my favorites that I get to do, and I'm the radio girl for them. So God told me years ago when I joined to give up airtime. So every quarter, whoever is the recipients, all 3 of them, we come in here and we talk about their nonprofits. And so that was very important. So one of the guys came up to me at the event and said, hey, do you know about us? And, I get that question 5,000 times a day. And so I said, no, I don't. He gave me his card. And then I looked at it. I was like, wow, I never knew about this. And I love to interview people because it's a unique thing you guys do. You want to walk me through how you find these children and how you help them?
Yes, we get a lot of referrals from different agencies. We work with state and local agencies like DCF, that would be a good example, or Fostering Foundation, Foster Care of Florida, different organizations, the Guardian Ad Litems, and they'll refer children to us. And you can find a local chapter at bacaworld.org. So, like I said, 45 states. You can click on there, and there'll be a helpline number that you can call as well. We get a lot of referrals from public events, from PR opportunities like this one. So I hope there's people out there listening. And
we're worldwide, so we're going to hit those 45 states.
That's right. And they'll give our helpline a call, and our child liaison, who is our intake specialist, will evaluate what's going on. It has to be a reported case for us to work on it. And
when you say reported case, you don't mean like a mom reporting it. It's got to be legit, already involved with the police and already involved with like a child services.
Yes, okay. They need to find, because if they tell us about the abuse, we're a mandatory reporting agency, so then we have to report it.
Yeah.
So it's better that they do that. And if it's in the system and it's been reported, we can get involved. And we always let the children make the decision. So if the children want us to be involved, then we can get involved. And we'll go over to the house with 3 or 4 of our members and meet the child, meet the family, and make sure they're comfortable with us. And if they are, which they always are, the kids love motorcycles.
I know, they do.
It's amazing.
Adults love motorcycles.
And then if they're happy with us, then we'll go over to their house on maybe a Saturday morning with 20, 30, 40, 50 motorcycles and come roaring into the neighborhood.
I love it.
Throttling up a little bit. We wake everybody up.
I love it.
We welcome the children into our BACA organization. We've been doing this for 30 years. We were founded by a child play therapist out of Utah, who rode his motorcycle to go see the children that he worked with, and he noticed that often they paid more attention to his bike than they did him.
Got the conversation started because there was something that they were just enjoying and not, having to talk about the ugliness that's happening, and then it kind of comes out, doesn't it?
That's right. And some of us are, I've got a television face, but a lot of my colleagues have radio faces. They look,
I know what that means.
They look a little scary, but the children feel safe around us. It's amazing. I've ridden up to traffic lights before. I'm sitting at a red light and I look over and these children, their faces are pressed up against the window looking at the motorcycle. And the mom, if she's driving the car, she won't even look at me.
Oh, no, I'm the opposite. I'm looking at it going,
I'm not looking at him, that nefarious looking guy over there. And then I'll yell at the kids, you got your seatbelts on? And they'll run over, they'll put their seatbelts on, they'll start smiling, and Mom will give me a thumbs up, but she still won't look at me.
Well, see, now my favorite week is Bike Week. I love it when all the hundreds of thousands of bikers are in here, and I have a couple fun stories from Bike Week and stuff.
I bet you do.
And I've actually had a group of 1%ers in here, and I did not know what that meant or know anything about it. But my friend said, will you do an interview? So I did. And during the interview, my eyebrows were about up to here because I was a little shocked, but I was thankful, all was good, strong Christian guys. And then I go to walk outside and there's motorcyclists all, guarding my parking lot, right? And then it hit me.
Those
my
rascals.
Goodness, right? And they go, you were fine. And I thought, I'm glad I knew none of this before it happened, but some of the nicest guys I've ever met, and so you never can judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, you should never. And I'll tell you what, the motorcycle community, biker community as a whole, they love children.
Well, and they are the politest and the sweetest. I don't care what anybody says. They are the ones that stop and open the door. They're complimentary. It's not what you think it is because we've lived here forever. And I love, like I said, Bike Week because you're going to get treated a lot better than some of the other weeks that we have here in Daytona.
That's right. And I usually come over. I live over in Ocala right now, and I'll ride over for Bike Week and Biketoberfest. Don't forget Biketoberfest. And Speed Week. A lot of bikers
I
come
love
over
them all.
Yeah, and that community, the biker community, is very charitable as a whole. They love children. They support what we do, and we're pretty happy with that. And like I said, children love motorcycles, and then we let them make all the decisions.
Now, are you all volunteers, or do you have do you raise money to keep everything going? Because I know, do you still give out the vests to the children and have a name for them?
The road name we put on their cut, but they
now what does all that mean in English?
A vest is a cut. We call it a cut because it's a leather or denim jacket with the sleeves cut off.
See, I learned something new today. I'm going to be cool. Okay.
Yeah, it's very complicated.
Hey, I am cool.
But we give them a road name.
Okay, how does one get a road name?
Well, we let the children pretty much pick a road name, something that they're comfortable with. We let them make that decision. It could be something like Earth Angel or Daredevil.
I saw the Peppermint.
Peppermint, yeah. You the video. Look at you name dropping and everything.
I told you I do pay attention.
Usually a biker, they got to do something stupid before they're given a road name.
Okay.
But we give them the road name so they can feel part of our organization.
And I hear they get to jump on the bike sometimes and go for a ride.
Yes, that's right. We ask them if they want to go for a ride, and if they don't, we don't try to talk them into it.
No big deal. Maybe another day.
No big deal, and we can come back another day if they want to. But like I said, we let children make the decision. That helps empower them not to be afraid of the world in which they live. It lets them to start to get a little bit of control over their life again.
Now, how does, I was reading and watching, of course, and I was thinking about it. If these children are being abused, sometimes it's happening from their parents. So how does that work then? Because are they already removed from the situation?
Well, before we can work with them, the abuser has to be out of the picture as far as, not living with them.
That's what I wanted to clarify, because that was a little, how does that all plan out?
The vast majority of abuse happens from people they know. It could be somebody in the family, it could be a neighbor, something like that. But, if they were to happen to have joint custody, we can't be involved because when they go back to the alleged abuser, then we could be used as sort of a weapon against the kids.
Okay.
And we don't want the kids to be stuck in the middle. So it's one of those situations where the parent or guardian who has the legal custody of the child allows us to work with them. And the kid wants to have to work with us.
What's the youngest you've worked with?
What's that?
Or the youngest age you have worked with?
Well, we generally go from 3 to 17. The kid could be 18 as long as the abuse happened when they're under
Prior to.
18. But when they get younger than that, like 1, 2 years old, it's really hard for them to understand who we are and what we're doing.
Totally. That's why I was wondering, because like if a biker came up to me and I was a little person that just learned how to walk, I'd have no clue what was going on. But at 3, you're starting to get curious.
At 3,
and you can start, saying what's going on.
Yeah, it's amazing how articulate some of the 3-year-olds can be because we help get them ready. Now, we're not therapists,
Right.
but we help them get ready, mentally prepared to go to court and testify. And we go to court with them.
I love that. I do love that. Now, do you only have men bikers, or are there men?
No, we got women, and we got women that can ride better than we can. But it's
I
important.
can ride an e-bike, so you know.
Yeah.
I have one.
Well, even if they got 3 wheels, we let them
Okay.
in. But the women are important, too, because they play that equal role in helping the children. Because sometimes a child because we assign 2 of our members
I like
to
that
work
too.
with the child.
Is it always a man and a woman that you assign, or?
Well, it
on the
depends. Our child liaison sort of assesses the situation
Okay.
to see what that child really needs. And it can be a man and a woman that aren't related in any way.
Mm-hmm.
It could be 2 men. It could be 2 women. Just depends on
You
what
just got to kind of figure it out and check it out. Again, what's that website so that people that are listening can jump on there?
BACAworld.org. BACA world.org. There's a great video on there.
There is. Now tell us about the patch. There's a thing about the patch. See, I pay attention to
What do you want to know about the patch?
Well, what does the different colors and stuff in the patch mean? Because I thought that was very interesting.
Boy, you done your research. Yeah. Okay, the red on the patch represents the blood that's been spilled, during
See, now I
during
thought
the
of it
abuse.
as the blood of Jesus going to
Yeah.
protect them.
That's right. The black is the shadows that the child could be in or was in, but it represents the sort of the pain
darkness.
the darkness that they went through. The white is the innocence of the children, and then we've got a skull and crossbones on there. That's one of my favorites, and that's a death to child abuse. And then we've got chains that sort of links us all together as one organization, one BACA around the world. Although we try to break the chains
That's
of
what I was
child
thinking
abuse.
too. Yep. I was thinking about the chains. I was thinking breaking those chains for that child not to have to go a generational curse, because some of those bad things, when it happens to you, later in life, maybe you'll do, I'm not being rude or mean, but that does happen. And so I was thinking about the chains, about breaking those chains. So,
Well, and that's a tough thing because, it is circular as well. It's tough that they get stuck in that situation. And a lot of times abusers were abused themselves. So we want to try to get them to have the courage to step forward and get back that childhood that they deserve. I was riding across Montana one time, and I love telling this story. It's a quick one. I was gassing up my bike, and some dude with a little bit of gray hair walks up to me, and he says, "Can I give you a hug?" And I kind of look at him. He said, "You want to give me a hug?" Yeah, and he gives me a hug, and he said, "I was a BACA child 25 years ago."
how special is that? How God allowed you to meet somebody?
Unbelievable. And he said, "I just want to thank you
Life-changing.
for what you did for me and my family." He says, "I'm married. I've got 2 kids. I got a great job, and I think about you guys all the time." Of course, Montana's a big place, and they don't see our patches on our back as often as maybe some other places.
Right.
Like, Florida, we've got 10 chapters. Texas, I think we got like 26 chapters. California.
That was special for you.
What's that?
That was really special for you.
Unbelievable. And I can think of maybe 15, 20 times where somebody has come up to me as an adult and told me that they were a BACA child.
Now, how
And,
long have you been one?
I started in 2009.
Okay,
Now,
so
I'd
you've
have
been
to
around
do
a while.
I've been around a while. Yeah, we've been in Florida 20 years. Just celebrated the 20th anniversary here in Florida.
How many children have been touched and helped through your organization? Do you have an idea?
I'll say a whole bunch.
Okay, I like
Yeah.
a whole bunch.
Yeah, we don't
More than
talk
one,
about numbers, but
not
you know
many,
what?
but lots.
We could always help more because 1 in 3 girls have been sexually abused by the time they're 18. 1 in 5 boys.
I was going to say, we never used to think boys were
Yep.
abused, and that was like a thing that we never thought about.
Yep.
But 1 in 5, that is just crazy.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So, you look at a football stadium, I don't know, University of Florida. Do they have a football team up
I was
there?
thinking FSU. Uh-huh.
The Gators, but I
No,
think
I
they're
was thinking FSU.
FSU. The Gators got their tail between their legs this year, but
But they did win FSU.
yeah, they did. They did.
My grandson played a year for FSU.
Oh man,
We were Gators, okay? But
Yeah.
when your grandson gets picked, you become whatever they are.
Well,
okay?
I kind of like the Seminoles. Though.
Okay.
I like the Seminoles. I graduated from University of Central Florida,
Okay.
so I'm a Knight. But anyways, look at a stadium and think about, roughly 20% of the people in that stadium have been
abused.
sexually abused. Then you've got physical abuse, you got mental abuse, and
Right.
one of the things about BACA, where another stat that I love talking about, is on a national average, only 30% of the children will testify when asked to.
Totally. You know why? Because they've been threatened.
They've been threatened,
I was
intimidated.
in an abuse relationship for years before I met my husband. Okay. And I was an adult, but I was in an abusive relationship. I never said anything for years because my daughter and my dad were threatened.
Yep.
So the two people that were so important in my life were threatened. And so I took on the abuse like I was protecting them. Now, I realize now that was dumb and I should have spoke up earlier. But I get that you are in a situation and you are totally consumed with what the threat is. And I don't think people realize that because there is always a threat.
And it's hard to judge people when they say, why didn't anybody say anything? Because it's wrapped up in their head.
Well, people used to always say that to me, like, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you? I said, until you have been in that situation, don't tell me why shouldn't I have done. Praise the Lord, I did.
That's
Finally. I might be a slow learner, but I did get it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, I mean, and it's tough. We see it every day, and it breaks your heart. But the defining moment for that child that we work with, and I said 30% will testify nationwide. With BACA, 70% of the children will testify on a nationwide basis. In Florida, as far as I know, 100% of our children will testify. And that defining moment is when they're sitting in that stand and they tell their story.
and
They
you're
get-
in there, the
we're-
courtroom.
we're
and the
in
courts
there.
allow that, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, I wanted to clarify that because when I was first thinking, I was reading and studying, I was like, are you allowed actually to go that far with the child?
Well, the vast majority of the courts around the country allow that. Every once in a while, it depends on the judge, right?
Yes.
And in the child, whether they want us there, sometimes, very few times they'll say, well, if you could just sit outside, that'd be fine, because they might be embarrassed telling their story in front of us. Mm-hmm. And none of our members know what happened to the child, except for the child liaison, who's the intake specialist. The rest of us don't know anything
you're
about
just there
the
to
abuse.
love on them no matter what.
Yeah, and that's why, because there's enough people.
Well, you don't want judgment,
Yeah.
right?
And there's enough people talking to them about the abuse.
Right.
They don't need us to talk about the abuse.
So are you like a big brother to them, or an aunt or uncle or whatever? You know what I'm saying?
I won't use that term because Big Brothers Big Sisters, organization, they're a little
Yes.
bit different. They're more mentors. We're
Okay,
not
yes.
mentors. We're not role models. And people look at me and say, "What do you mean you're not mentors and role models?" Well, mentor is more of a long-term relationship. We're with the child to help them get through this phase,
Okay.
and then move on. We don't want to be the constant reminder of
Okay,
what
I like
of what
that.
happened to them, right?
Now, do you ever hear from them though? Are you allowed to hear from them, or is it
Oh, we
cut
hear
and dry?
we hear from them
Because
because
sometimes when you're like you, then it's done. But you do get to hear.
well, we tell people once a BACA child, always a BACA child, so they can get a hold of us still. if they want to. And then every chapter puts on at least one child party, we call it Kids Day, a year, where all of them come back, including the current kids. They all get to know each other, and they can feel
Share
part
their
of this
story.
bigger organization. One time I'm up at the Sturgis rally. I'm sure you've heard of the Sturgis
I've
rally. Yeah.
Once or twice.
Yeah, and a lady yells out, "Baca, Baca," like this, and I look over, and she yells a guy's name, like Mike, Baca's here. And they both come running over, and they're maybe 24, 25 years old. And they say, we were Baca children, and we met at a Kids Day. And they were in Colorado or Utah or something like that, and that's where they met.
How
And
cool is
again,
that?
they're engaged, and they're up at Bike Week. And we say we're not a role model because we don't necessarily want you to grow up to be a biker, right?
Darn, I thought I was going to get to grow up today.
I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with it, but we don't want to try to influence.
Right. They've had enough things influence them in their life. You're just trying to be the calm in the storm.
Yeah, and like I said, when we go to court, it's up to them as well. I've been to court with 5 people. I've been to court in Tennessee with 250 of us.
Wow.
We go rolling into that town, riding around the town square,
see
making
that.
as much noise as
I
we
would
could.
love to see it.
And 3 television stations from Nashville showed up in about 30 minutes, wondering who are these cats and what are they doing here? We're here to support this child.
Now, as listeners are listening, or maybe they're watching the YouTube or whatever, and they don't know where to start. Maybe they are in the midst of it, and you would say, first off, do they need to call the police or Protective Child Services, right?
Yeah, that's the first question we ask them. Has it been reported? If not, you need to do that.
Okay, so you can't really talk to them until it's been reported.
That's right.
Okay, and then once it's been reported, then they call is there an 800 number, right?
It's not a toll-free number. It's a local number that's published.
So they call a local number,
Yep.
and then they get this person that can start figuring out what they need to do to help them, right?
That's right.
Okay,
That's
so
right.
I just want to clarify all that because people get funny about
Yeah,
things.
and then like I said, we stop by the house with just 3 or 4 of us just to make sure that they're all comfortable with us. Then we show up with the chapter, and
See,
we
I
go.
wanted like 50 guys today, but I mean, it's okay. I got you. But it would have been a little bit more impressive. But no, it would have been hard to interview all of you. I can't imagine. So where are we going? We're listening right now. Tell us how to get a hold of you guys, because like I said, we're worldwide. So what is the best thing to do?
Well, I tell you what I'm going to do. Like I said, you go on the website, and there's a chapter search icon there, and you can drill down to country, to state, and then within the state it shows all the chapters. And if you click on the chapter, it'll have a helpline. Excuse me. I'm with the Paynes Prairie chapter, and we're based in Ocala, but we've got chapters all over the state. You can call this number. I'll give it to you. It's our number, but we can direct you to the right place. It's 352-239-8723. And for those of you that are running for a pencil and paper, I'll say it again. It's 352-239-8723. 8723, and those are manned 24/7. We'll get back to you within 24 hours if you get the voicemail. And if you're not local to us, we will get you connected to the chapter that's local to you.
Now, what if I'm a biker and I'm listening right now? We should have done this during Bike Week. That would have been really cool. Yeah. But what if I'm a biker and I'm listening and I say, well, how do I get involved? How do you accept people to even be you?
Absolutely. We're looking for people with heart and who are dedicated to what we're doing. You talked about volunteers. Like I said, we're a 501c3. You can also donate by going to bacaworld.org if you'd like to. But we don't really consider ourselves volunteers. It's more of who we are, and it's our life, and that's what we do. But you can call us a volunteer. There's no paid employees anywhere.
I know, but sometimes people are looking for something to become part of, and how do you can just call that number and you can talk about them and discuss it,
or like I said, go to bacaworld.org, click through there, and you'll find in the chapter page a meetup location where we meet, the time. And you can visit that chapter. Ours is the third Saturday of every month at 10 o'clock a.m. at Warhorse Harley-Davidson in Ocala. And come and check us out. Visit a meeting, get to know us. And then you can start the journey if you're interested. But it takes between 12 to 16 months of riding with us and going through training before we will put a patch on your back and allow you to work directly with the children. It's always a minimum of 2 members, and you can tell a member because they have the patch on their back to work with the children. But it's a long journey, lots of training. There's about 80 hours of training.
I love that. You don't just say, hey, you got a bike, let's do this.
That's right. And then we assign a sponsor to you that's sort of like your coach through the process, and we get to know who you are, where you live, where you work, who your friends are. You have to have a background check done.
You have to have friends.
Yeah, what's that?
You have to have friends?
Yeah.
Darn. I was missing 2 key elements, the motorcycle and then the friends.
That's fine. At least people that might,
But it's an important event. It is very
it's
important event, people, because, these are children. And they've already went through a situation. So
That's
we need to
right.
make sure that you're on the up and up before we even allow you near them.
We don't let just anybody around our children. And like I said, there's around 80 hours worth of training on how we do it, why we do it, who we are, how to behave, all of that kind of stuff, courtroom etiquette, how to be a primary to the child. There's training on that because we can't afford to let anybody make a mistake.
No, can ruin your whole ministry.
Yep.
So tell us one last time, where are we going to find more information out, and give that phone number that you had also. So tell them where on Facebook or internet.
All right, go to BACAworld.org, BACA, Bikers Against Child Abuse, BACAworld.org, and there's a little link there that you can find a chapter, locate a chapter, and then drill down into that to where you are. Like I said, 45 states, 20 countries, 7 provinces in Canada, 10 chapters in Florida, or you can call, and there's a helpline for every chapter. Our helpline at Paynes Prairie, out of Marion County, is 352-239-8723. That's 352-239-8723.
And is there anything we forgot to talk about?
Well, I'm getting up in years, and they said memory's the third thing to go, but I can't think of anything right off.
I think we covered it also. And they can go back and replay this on Facebook or YouTube and call one of us.
I can listen to it?
You can listen to it.
Oh, man.
How cool is that? Thank you so much for driving over. I appreciate it. And I loved hearing about this because I know I've dealt with that in my life. And so it's nice to hear that there's a group of people that will stand with you.
Well, if it's allowed, I'll give you a hug because if you've gone through this kind of stuff, you need a hug.
Yeah.
You really do.
Everybody needs a hug, don't they?
That's right. That's right.
Thank you so much.